So in today's video I'm going to be talking about The Midnight Library by Matt. I'm not sure if it's Hag or Haig, and yeah, so this is what I'm going to be reviewing today. Now this book, I've seen this book all over, you know, Instagram and BookTube. It's had quite a lot of high praise, and I was umming and ahhing about trying this book for quite a long time. It's been out a little while now, and it popped up in my local Tesco, and every time I walked past I was like picking it up and then putting it down and picking it up and putting it down. And the reason for that being, this book really interested me. It is about a woman who commits suicide and ends up in a place called the Midnight Library. Now the reason why I debated about picking up this book for a long time is because of the subject matter. Obviously it revolves around a woman who's very depressed in her life and is contemplating ending her life, and I was worried that it was going to be quite a heavy book, and particularly in the time of my life when I was picking up and I was a bit low at the time, I was like, I don't really want to read something that's going to make me feel even worse. But at the same time it had such high praise, I thought, well, maybe it's got some takes in here that would make me feel better. So I did obviously buy it, and it's been sat on my shelf for a while and I still put off reading it. And then one day I was like, you know what, I'm just going to give it a go and see what I think. I can always start it and put it down if I don't like it or what have you. And I ended up being really pleasantly surprised. I have seen both praise and criticism for this book, and I understand why it has both of these. But I'll read you the blurb on the back and then I'll get into my thoughts about this book. So on the back here it says, Nora's life has been going from bad to worse. Then at the stroke of midnight, on her last day on earth, she finds herself transported to a library. There she is given a chance to undo her regrets and try out each and the other lives she might have lived. Which raises the ultimate question, the infinite question: what is the best way to live? So like you see on the back, like you hear on the back, she enters this library and then goes through and experiences what her life could have been, and she ends up asking herself many questions, like what is the perfect life? What is a life worth living? What makes a life worth living? What does she need in her life to make her feel fulfilled? You know, all the regrets she had, were they really regrets? Did she make the right decisions in saying no to things in her life or accepting certain things in her life? So yeah, I actually found this book really interesting, and it wrote about it in a way where it didn't seem heavy. I really liked this author's writing, and it just made, yeah, he touched on a lot of different subjects without making it going too in depth, without making it too, it just didn't feel heavy, you know, it didn't feel weighty. And he just had some really nice moments in this book, which I have tabbed this book to things that I like that were written, you know, things that she said or came to realise in the book that I enjoyed and would like to go back and reread. I do think this is a book you could reread, and it didn't make me feel in a low mood at all. I do feel like the beginning of the book, you kind of feel like, oh, is this going to be like really heavy, like a really sad story? But then once she gets to the library and she's experiencing the other lives, it's not at all. It's very well written. It keeps it quite light, but also sending a nice message throughout the book. And I think a lot of his writing is like this, because I've also seen that he writes like self-help books. He's written one recently called The Comfort, Reasons to Stay Alive, that kind of stuff. And he also has written other fiction books, which I'm also interested in. He wrote one called The Humans, which I think is from the perspective of an alien or something, which I'm actually really interested in. But yeah, overall I do really understand the hype of this book. I think if you're curious about this book, definitely give it a go. The criticism for this book, I have seen a lot of people saying it's a bit of like, you know, like a fluffy self-help kind of book around depression and that kind of a thing. But if you do want to read a book around those kind of themes, and you find that kind of thing interesting, I do think this is a good book to start with, because like I said, it's not heavy at all. It's a nice story. The character is quite engaging, her different lives are all very interesting, and her reasons for wanting to leave those lives or stay in those lives, you know. I just thought it was really good book. It was very interesting. I very much enjoyed it. It's weird to say a book about suicide is a feel-good book, but it kind of is as you get towards the end. Yeah, it was just really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I would love to read some more of his works and see what else I think. But yeah, overall a thumbs up for me. I say if you have been thinking about getting this book for a while, give it a go. You know, it's not as heavy as what you would think it would be. You know, a book about suicide, you think, oh god, that's going to be a hard book to get through, that's going to be quite a downer of a book. But it's not. Like I said, it is kind of more of like a feel-good book, which is a weird thing to say. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in his other books. Let me know if you've read this and your thoughts on this book. And yeah, it's actually quite short. It's not very long. It's only let's see, 287 pages. And yeah, it's definitely worth a go. So yeah, if you're interested, give it a go. That's pretty much all I have to say. It says here, filled with warmth and humour, which is accurate for a book about suicide. This is such a beautiful book here, a celebration of life's possibilities, and yeah, I would definitely agree. It does have some moments of humour in this book, and yeah, worth a go. So as always, thank you for watching. That's everything I have to say in today's video, and until next time, bye guys.